welcome to another exciting episode of Carbony Bronze, the show that asks, why is this happening and when will it stop? I'm your host, Chris.
I'm the other one, Sean.
There we go, we did it. We successfully introed the show without moaning or rambling or talking over each other.
But now by talking about how we've managed to do it, haven't we undermined it?
Forging on.
Okay.
We're up to episode 5 of Altered Carbon here.
Yes, episode 5 of season 1, because there's going to be more seasons.
The Wrong Man.
Oh.
That's the name of the episode. The Wrong Man!
The Wrong Man. In which we learn that people of Asian descent are indistinguishable from one another. It's true.
Oh my god.
I didn't say it. The show did.
I know this. Yeah, I remember that too. Because I only just watched it about an hour ago. Oh god. I don't... so many... I feel like I just spend most of my time in these episodes muttering about, oh god, why am I watching this show?
I feel a little differently. I think I have a concussion.
Oh, okay.
I spent a lot of this episode fairly confused. I don't actually know what's happening anymore.
Okay, well then let's dive right in. I've actually taken some notes this time, which I think I don't think I've done before, or maybe I did it once.
Do you want praise for doing the bare minimum?
No, God, no. I expect that at work, where I get paid to give the bare minimum. First note I've got here. I don't remember Riker knowing Mary Lou.
Well, he didn't. In the books, he didn't. He was just outraged by her murder and subsequent, not very subtle cover-up.
Yeah, because it was shit, and he's a cop.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the best cop, but he had his, he had his
morals.
He had his scruples.
Yeah.
Had an attack.
So I guess we should do the rundown of what the episode was.
I mean, I'm assuming if you're listening to this, you've seen it.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Especially if you've gotten to episode 5 of Us, like you probably should have outstripped us by now.
Yeah, we've not been quick.
No, it's been 3 months.
But I want to go through it bit by bit rather than doing a summary at the start because I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions, a lot of objections.
Yeah, I ask a couple of questions here.
Okay, so one of the first things that happens is the Vatch goes to Suntouch House for reasons. He wants to talk to Bancroft. I don't remember why. And Miriam Bancroft is there, and this is where she bribes him with Sex Island.
That's not one of the first things that happens. That's like 10 or 15 minutes in.
Well, nothing of import happened before then, because that's the first note I have.
Well, the first note I have is, I don't remember Riker knowing Mary Lou, and then immediately after that, why did I spend the first 5 minutes having the two lead characters exposition the previous episode? That's literally what happened. They explain exactly what happened in the previous episode in a discussion between each other.
Well, I'm gonna peel back the curtain, Sean, and I'm gonna posit that when this was written, the script for episode 4 was fill time, torture explosion, fill time, and
no, it wasn't a script. It was a sticky note that said, "We don't have the budget for this one."
Just fill 40 minutes. It's contractual obligations, which is then underlined twice. So that is, I think,
on hand.
Why there is such a detailed and insulting recap at the start of this episode.
And then just before we get into Miriam, I have one more question.
Yeah, get into Miriam.
Yeah, boom. Was it just me, or did Dimmy's head look like it had a handle?
That's just his hair, I think.
No, but the way she's carrying it, his hair is not short, but it's not long enough to be used as a handle like that, especially in the middle of his fucking scalp. She's holding a handle.
You could be right.
It felt weird. It felt weird that the hair wasn't bunched up around her hand. It didn't look like she was holding hair.
Attach a screenshot to this episode with arrows and outlines.
Conspiracy theories. Do heads have handles?
Yeah. And we've got Popper Elliot and Poe just kind of hanging out. They do nothing of import this episode. They just stand around.
Once again, I'd rather watch their show than this one.
Yeah.
The one where they grill each other, and Elliot has incredible fear and disgust and loathing for both himself and his daughter's situation. And Poe just is an AI. I would prefer to watch that show.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. It's also... Oh, another bummer. It is now obvious that Trep will not be in this story.
Nope.
Like, she's just gone.
Nope.
She's been replaced by additional Cadmans.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about Trep, for those of you who haven't read the book, is that she was a mercenary in the employ of the bad guys, who the Vatch, real deaths during his escape from the Way Clinic. And then, like, half a day later, she shows up again, but it's a backup that's months old and has never met him before, and they kind of become friends.
Yeah,
it's
I would also prefer that show to this one.
Yeah, it's just it was an interesting thing that explored the implications of how this world works. But we got lots of grumpy Cadmans doing stuff, which is bizarre because I made this point in episode 1. Cadman has never been established as a credible threat. No, like the first thing he does is get gunned down by robo-sentries while talking too much.
Yeah,
just a complete
also that just makes the Hendrix look even cooler in the like he's there to make the Hendrix look cooler in the first 50 pages of that book.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, he does show up later on. He is a recurring antagonist.
He has other purposes, but that's the first thing he does. Yeah. Make someone else look better.
That's true, but this is key. He does it without making himself necessarily look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't have necessarily known that would happen, but...
he probably should have guessed.
Well, but he didn't spend 4 minutes running his mouth preparatory to it. The version of the book is much more efficient with his kidnapping and murder.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, I guess we should get back to Miriam now. So, you've got some notes on Miriam.
Well, not really. He basically shows up and says, "Where is Bancroft?" And she says, "I do not know. He's off doing a thing. Would you like to come with me to Sex Island in exchange for not doing your investigation anymore?" And as this happened, I was like, okay, so this bribe should have come after they banged, like 3 episodes ago. She has made no attempt to contact him in the interim. Was her plan just to wait for him to show up and then offer the bribe to get him to drop the investigation? Like, how did she know he would come back before he solved the case?
If I just sit on the couch, he'll come. It's fine.
Do you think she's read the script, Sean?
I reckon they... I honestly think it's that the whoever the editor is or the writing lead on this show, they got halfway through the season and they were like, oh shit, we've only got one female character who we haven't killed. Bring Miriam back. I did have one thing, and it's that even though you're right, it does come way later than it should, interestingly, Miriam is basically the only thing that hasn't really changed in the adaptation. Like, the only thing they've really done for her is they PG'd, in a way, her sex scene and how incredibly over the top that is in the book. She's still doing all the exact same things she did in the book, in the show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I necessarily...
They've just changed the order.
She only does, like, 3 things in the book. I mean, she's important to the conspiracy, but... She doesn't actually do that much. Oh, well, there's a bunch of dialogue scenes with highly portentous tennis matches, which are not in the show.
No.
That she hasn't done yet.
That's because tennis doesn't fit in with their gritty rejiggering of Blade Runner.
Well, I mean, at this fucking point, I think tennis would require them to take a camera outside, which they no longer budgeted to do. So, I praised the show in the first episode for looking great and them clearly spending money. All the money is gone. This is just like soundstage is a go-go. Everything is inside. Everything is crappy looking. And,
well, when we were in Riker's apartment, or the apartment they were going to share, I know that we're jumping ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
But that apartment, isn't that just the reverse of Ortega's apartment?
I think it might be.
The staircase just goes down the other side, and then everything else has just been moved around.
I think you might be right. I'm also jumping ahead. I just wanted to say, I hadn't really noticed it before, but Ortega's apartment is absurdly big.
Oh yeah, like for a basement too.
It's fucking enormous.
Yeah, like isn't the whole thing like they're running out of space as well?
I guess, and also
that's why they had that shipping container village thing.
And it's exactly why they have that. And she doesn't have that much money. They make a big deal of, I couldn't really afford the rental on Riker's sleeve. Oh yeah, but she could afford to live in this basement mansion.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense.
It surely does not.
Yeah, like they also I
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to say this without sounding like a complete idiot. I am not someone who knows much about fashion, especially in a fictional futuristic world.
Oh, I feel you're about to go out on a limb here, buddy.
I think her pantsuits, or not pantsuits, I think her work attire is far too nice for a cop who has an apartment that big and is paying to keep her boyfriend's body on ice.
Yeah, I do not have an opinion about Ortega's wardrobe.
It's just weird. It's just weird. Like, all the cops that are down on their luck in books that I've read, especially the Warren Ellis ones, dress like shit.
Yeah, Ortega isn't necessarily down on her luck. She has an onerous financial burden, but I don't know.
I guess her mum might supplement her income. I don't know. Because, like, her mum, does it... I don't know... I don't remember. Does her mum live with her?
Maybe. She seems to just be there a lot.
Yeah, like... it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Moving on. So the next note I have is cult time! !
Yeah.
When
yeah.
The ghost
that doesn't happen in the book, right?
What?
Oh, hang on. No, you're on something else. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I'm on something else. When the ghost man approaches a police officer who is wearing a pentagram ring and says, I see you're a man of faith. I'm like, oh, is there going to be a satanic cult as well as the neo-Catholics running around?
It'll probably go through that duality thing. Like, oh yeah, neo-Catholics are around, so they're going to have neo-Satanists.
Yeah, except no, they didn't. It was just a ploy to steal his uniform so he could infiltrate the police.
Yep.
Which he then did.
And because all Asians look the same.
Yeah. This is where we learn that all Asians are the same. Thank you, Altered Carbon.
Unless you are in a position of authority, like Tanaka.
Yeah.
Because everyone can recognize Tanaka, and I'm guessing it's through the cunning use of neckties.
Also, he has grey hair.
Yeah, that too.
So then we move on to another scene which is not in the book.
I think I know what you're going to do now, but go.
Bancroft rubs plague victims.
Yeah, okay. I have one note for that.
Please present it.
Weird moment to humanize Bancroft.
Is that what they're doing?
Well, I mean, it's like they're trying to, but it's over the top, and then it's like even the Vatch felt it was over the top. Like, oh, this is theater. Yeah, damn straight it's theater.
Yeah, he wasn't buying it at all, and then the scene just ends when he dies, and then has to go get re-sleeved. Okay, they're clearly trying to get their money's worth out of James Purefoy. That's obvious.
Yeah, he probably cost them a fair amount of money, especially since he went dong first into the first episode.
He went dickless for Michael Chiklis.
I'm so glad we don't make money for this.
Yeah, kind of like Miriam, Bancroft isn't actually in the book all that much.
No.
And ultimately, his character isn't that complicated. He's a wealthy, immortal pervert. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's not even that big of a monster in the world of Altered Carbon.
Oh no, definitely not compared to other characters like Kawahara and Co.
Yeah, like he's like a baby monster. He's only a monster in the sense that he has money to hide what he does, whereas everyone else just does it.
They also have money. I don't want to get into this degree of immortal rich monsters discussion.
Yeah.
But the point is, they fill in time. Go rub some plague victims, stand in a thing. Like, what is this? Is nothing. This has nothing to do with the fucking mystery at all.
Also, his acting was really weird as he was dying. Like, what was the direction on that?
The direction was act like your body is failing, I think.
Yeah, but, like, can you just... It was... I didn't really believe that his body was failing. It just sounded like he was aging slowly while getting boils on his face.
Yeah.
Felt dumb. Also... Is he just doing this to make himself a god? Because he's for his belief he is a god. So he's like, yeah, sure, I'll just go get a fucking following. Oh, look, there's some bums.
Sean, I don't think any of the homeless plague victims are ever going to be seen again. I think, this is what was once called a big-lipped alligator moment.
Okay.
I think it's from the movie...
What's a big-lipped alligator?
Well, I think it's from the movie Cats Don't Dance, where the main characters are going on their journey, and then all of a sudden a alligator with big lips appears and does a song and dance number, and is never seen or heard from again.
Oh, okay.
So it's just a thing that happens that is weird and has no impact, but is never mentioned again. I suspect that this is that.
All right.
All right. After that, we have the scene where the guy who has replaced Batista, whose name I still haven't caught in like 5 episodes of this show.
Oh, yeah.
Shows up and has a chat with the Vatch.
Abood,
right.
Abood.
Except all of the context that made this scene interesting, like the presence of a roided out Curtis in the book, is just all gone, and it's just wow, you don't be mean to Ortega, grr, or I'll dead ya.
Yeah, because what I'm doing is chivalrous by telling you to make sure you don't hurt a fragile woman we both know.
Yeah. All right, so that's all crap, basically.
Yep.
Then the Vatch and Ortega bang. I have 2 notes.
Yep.
Oh, wait, hang on. Do they bang here or do they bang later?
They bang later, but...
They bang later. I've just written Ortega nips because we didn't have any nudity in this episode, so, you know.
Yeah, and then they get their money's worth, like in the last 20 minutes of the episode.
They very much do. Fucking screensaver. Stop it.
You should really disable that.
Fucking... I had. That was weird. That shouldn't have gone off that early.
Yeah.
Anyway, they then get a tip from Poe. Mm-hmm. They need to go to Fight Drome, and this is the point where I start to get genuinely angry with this episode.
Oh, excellent! This is what the people are here for.
I think
the rage.
I have a theory. I think that the people who make this show hate boats.
Yeah, okay.
Because we have the free trade enforcer is gone.
That's something you could come away with.
No. I have evidence. The free trade enforcer, the beached aircraft carrier, is gone. The Panama Rose, which is where the Fight Club is in the book, which is also a boat, has been replaced with this dingy little subterranean soundstage called Fight Drome. So that's gone. Even Riker's fuckboat is absent, and instead it's been moved to an apartment in the final scenes of this episode. Like, they're just, no boats. We're not about boats. And as a result, they stripped out 3 interesting locations and replaced them with generic nothing.
But they had a dinghy earlier.
Your face is a dinghy. You're right, they didn't have a dinghy. They really hate ships. That's a subtle difference.
Anything with an engine or a sail. Anything that isn't powered directly by person power.
Yeah, it's a size class thing.
Yeah. Like it's okay to be the underboat, but not the but you don't want to be one of those fancy overboats. There's an overboard joke there. I just can't make it in my head.
So they go to Fight Drome.
They went overboard with this. No, never mind.
They went overboard with budget saving.
Yeah.
So they go to Fight Drome and they meet Carnage, who I was pretty disappointed with.
Was Carnage supposed to be a girl? I can't remember.
No, Carnage is not a girl.
Carnage doesn't have a gender.
Carnage memorably has a synthetic sleeve, which is meant to look really cheap and fucked up. And he just looks like a guy with big hair.
Yeah. Oh, because big purple tipped hair, Chris, because that's the future.
It is indeed the future. So I was disappointed that, the guy in the synthetic sleeve didn't look more nightmarish, basically.
Yeah, but, that's not where they want to spend their budget. Apparently they want to spend it on Purefoy's dick.
Yeah.
And Ortega's nips. That's where the budget went in this episode, too. It went into her being naked.
Spent all their dollars on nipples.
Yeah.
They spent all their tips on nips.
Yep. Boom. Let's just stop the episode there. We don't need to record anymore. It can only go down from there.
Kill me. So Fight Drome is a fucking insult. Where is the Panama Rose? Several exclamation and question mark points.
That's not the note I took away from this scene.
All right. And then they watch a tape of Bancroft beating up his son at a...
Oh, hang on. The tape thing. This is my question.
Yeah.
How have any tapes survived this long?
Well, we don't know exactly what year it is.
I mean,
it's one thing.
It's significantly far enough in the future for them to be able to clone people effectively and stick people's brains in hard drives.
Yeah, but I think it's also far enough in the future that getting, like, magnetic ribbon tapes produced on demand is doable.
Yeah, but he looks like he's using an actual, like, VHS thing that he didn't. That it's not pre-made, so it's not been made in a 3D printer from a spec. He looks like he found that at the tip, cleaned it up, and then stuck a tape in it.
Well, I mean, there are gramophones from the 1900s that still exist. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, no,
there are lots of plausible ways he could have a VCR.
3 questions here. How have any tapes survived this long? How does anyone know what to do to repair them? How does anything record onto those tapes?
I mean, the answer to all 3 is you can make more tapes, and the information, the knowledge necessary to maintain VCRs was not lost somehow.
I don't buy it.
You don't buy it. You're like, this is the thing that breaks your suspension of disbelief. He's got a fucking tape.
Well, apparently yours was boats, so...
No, that didn't break my suspension of disbelief. That just made me angry.
Well, this made me angry.
I perceived a conspiracy against boats. I didn't even really like boats.
Don't you get seasick?
Yeah, horribly. I just liked these boats.
I
like looking at boats, not like standing on them.
Yeah, they're a nice idea, like communism.
Anyway,
the videotape thing bothered me.
Okay, noted. But the point of this scene is that they have a tape of Bancroft flipping out and beating up his son.
Yes.
At a fight, and this is the point where I now don't have any fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah,
because like the scenes that follow are they go to Isaac, that's Bancroft's son. They go to Isaac's house, and he's got a bunch of art that he's sold, and he's got a stored Bancroft sleeve in a fridge. And he's got a 3D printer to make an illegal 3D printer that can make sleeves on demand. And the implication is that he conspired to kill his father and then replace him by wearing his sleeve.
Yeah, it doesn't...
Right? As though there aren't ways of identifying a person independent of their sleeve, which there are, and as though him dying wouldn't result in him being restored from backup, which it did. And, I mean, this is obviously a frame, because I know that this is not the motive for the killing.
Well, yeah.
But the mechanics of it don't make any sense, and they haven't made any effort to explain it.
It seems very lazy. It's just like, oh crap, we're going to do a misdirect at some point, because people are figuring out that things...
Oh, people read the book and they got the ending. Shit. We need to spit it out.
We read the book halfway through the show. We realized we'd forgotten some things.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just lost. I don't know what's happening anymore. But it's fine, because I know that if I wait long enough, eventually the story will veer back onto the path that I'm familiar with, and I'll understand it again.
Will it?
Well, I mean, assuming it will.
As more stuff like this happens, I feel like it's just going to pull... a consistently anime thing where it's like, oh, we've caught up to the manga, time for filler.
I read the later episode descriptions, and I know that the climax is still the climax, and so I'm assuming that the story is still the story.
But if the climax is still the climax, won't some things not make sense?
No, it will. Just this is a misdirect.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, everything already doesn't make sense.
Very true.
Very, very all right,
true.
My next note is, oh, we bangin'.
Yep. So that's where they had sex.
Yeah, this is like a really unmotivated sex scene.
Yeah, and it went on for a long time.
Well, I mean, it has to when you're putting gratuitous sex scenes in your dark, edgy cyberpunk thriller. This happens later in the book. There's more stuff. There's more groundwork. I don't know. I don't buy it. I don't buy it, Sean.
Don't they have like kind of angry sex in the book?
They do have kind of angry sex in the book.
That seemed way tender on the show.
Yeah, look. It doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter. It's stupid. Their relationship makes no sense. They've dropped almost all of it and then just decided that they bang now. So...
No, because if you've got a female and a male, if you've got two leads and they're of opposite genders, they've got to have sex, Chris.
Yeah, it's the law.
Yeah,
It's like the law.
Yeah, it's. I'm trying to think of a director who does this all the time. Nah, I'm not fast on the joke. Sorry, guys. I did an overnight last night, and I'm very tired.
It's not really a director thing. It's like a standard of
Hollywood
tentpole movies. Like they gotta bang. Their bits fit together.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like magnets.
Even if they don't,
how could they not?
Even if they don't fit together very well.
We have a plague of weird-cocked male leads. They're not fully compatible.
Why is this one got a knot in the middle?
All right, so after the sex scene that doesn't take place on a boat, thus making it worse.
Yeah.
We then have like our 90th run-in with the makers of this show not understanding anything, where they decide to interrogate the second instance of Cadman by putting it in a sleeve instead of putting it in virtual.
Yeah.
By the way, they put it in virtual in the book, because obviously they fucking do.
Yes. And it's like they even call attention to that in the show. Like, ordinarily they put this in virtual, because cops only make deals in virtual. I think it's just what he actually says.
Yeah. But we're breaking the rules and being idiots, therefore not. And this did, however, lead to the only scene of the episode that I actually liked.
The lift one?
No, before that. The interrogation scene where they put him in the sleeve of Skinhead McBeardy from the last episode.
Yeah.
Who now gets to play his third character with the same body.
Yeah. Once again, getting their money's worth out of this guy.
Yeah. Well, all of them have been like meaningfully distinct just in mannerisms and voice, and this guy is my favorite actor in the show already.
Oh, clearly. He's the best actor. He should have been the Vatch.
Well, I mean, apart from the fact that he doesn't look much like a cop, yes, he should have been the Vatch.
I don't think the tattoos are real, Chris.
What?
And I'm pretty sure the beard's fake too, actually.
Oh, this is outrageous. Skinhead McBeardy, I trusted you.
Yeah, so he's a fake and there are no boats. So I'm guessing this episode is going to be called Not on a Boat.
No, it's going to be called I'm Lamentably Not on a Boat.
Yeah.
All right. So after that, again, we've undergone story collapse at this point. Like nothing makes any sense, and I have no idea why anything is happening.
Well, this is where we get to the last note I have written, and it's literally, I have no memory of this place. Because the stuff that happens in the lift, I don't remember at all.
It's because it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. So the guy who is invisible to surveillance cameras and who swapped places with the other Asian cop gets into a lift with Ortega,
Abood,
thank you. Cadman in Skinhead McBeardy's sleeve. He then pulls out a weapon that I can only describe as a people corer.
Yeah, I was going to say it looked like an alien probe and a lemon juicer had a baby, and that baby really, really hates everybody.
Yeah, it's a little spiky, roundy thing that lets you stab people and rip out sections of flesh.
Mm-hmm. Which
he then does to Ortega and Abood. And they have a big elevator fight. And I have to say, I mean, obviously props to Ortega for continuing to fight despite missing most of her arm muscles and her guts.
And a lot of blood.
But I don't think an unaugmented human could do that. And she doesn't have envoy training or even neurochem, as far as I know. So...
Well, interestingly, you see her go into shock, too.
Yeah, after continuing... I still reckon she fights long past the point where that would have been realistically possible.
Well, I mean,
I don't know. I'm not my actual note here is, I am not a doctor, but...
Well, I think that it's obvious. The scene is obviously drawn out over time, because it looks like they're only going down maybe 3 floors, and that all happens in one lift movement. It's not a slowed lift; it's just a lift going.
Yeah, I suppose.
So it's really only like maybe 30 seconds from the moment the lift doors close.
Yeah, okay, you might have a point. Anyway, Abood gets his stack blown out, but they run out of bullets, so they can't do Ortega, and then they escape.
Because writing.
What?
Because a successful assassin with the tool that he had wouldn't have counted the bullets.
Also, I mean, it's not like there were 2 people with guns in there. I don't know how they have no bullets at all.
Yeah, like
three. All the people who were wearing cop sleeves had a gun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fucking idiot, and I counted the bullets.
Super baffling. Anyway, for some reason, the cops allow the Vatch to run to the elevator and retrieve
into the obvious crime scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just stop in there. Ortega's bleeding everywhere. Get out of my way, and then just runs off with her. Like, I feel like they probably have medics in house. Where are you going?
They definitely have medics in house.
Where are you going?
I would dare say half of those fucking officers were trained in at least some form of first aid.
Yeah, well, I mean, he probably has better first aid training because he's an envoy.
Yeah, but he's not doing any of it because the first thing he does is the thing you're always told not to do. Move them.
Yeah. doesn't apply pressure to any wounds, just picks her up and jogs away. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, quick, I've got to take you away from all this blood you've left behind.
Yeah, that's how injuries work. Staying near your spilled blood makes it worse.
Yeah. It doesn't make it better, but...
And that...
Quick, we've got to spoon this back into you. I mean, I don't know. Was he thinking it's not a sterile environment? We've got to try and close the wounds fast or whatever. Why isn't the first thing saying? Why isn't he just like call a medic? Why isn't that the first thing that comes out of his mouth?
I don't know. It just doesn't matter. And then the episode ends.
Give me some boiled rags.
And then the episode ends because we had to have the end of episode action scene, which is how.
Yeah.
Oh, we also learned that Surveillance Ghost Man is a religious fundamentalist of some kind.
Yeah, it'll also lead well into the opening scene for the next episode, which will most likely be him rushing her to some place where he tries to get her looked after, and then they have a moment of tenderness for him before he goes and murders people.
No, he yells, "I need to get her to the medic boat," and then runs to the ocean, and there are no boats, and she dies. The end.
It's just him yelling, "Why?" at the ocean.
We're all yelling "Why?" at the ocean at this point. So, Sean, how many carbons out of 10 would you give this episode?
I'd give it 2.5 Purefoy dicks.
Out of
50.
Out of 50. That's not a lot of dicks.
No. Also, I had to cut one in half. How many Vatch screams do you give this one?
I give it a groan. I give it a beleaguered sigh.
How many ocean liners do you give this episode?
None. No ocean liners, no aircraft carriers, nothing.
It's... I'm not going to deny that it's a bit of a bummer to not see those huge things that are described
no, hang on.
Detail.
Okay, this is my new scale.
Okay.
Number of discharged sun jets. 0.
Yep.
0.
No. Look, the only way they could make this up is if in the final episode they have a giant laser that is also a boat.
Yeah, I'd be on board for that. I mean, the climax does take place on a sky boat, or so it does in the fucking book.
No, this is going to be a platform in space. That's what it's going to be. Because that's cheap and easy, and they don't like boats.
Number of sun jets, 0.
Number of sunboats.
All right, well, let's wrap this up. Thank you for listening to another exciting episode of Altered Carbony. No, hang on,
Yep.
Carbony Bronze. I forgot.
Yeah, you were too outraged, so that you forgot what you were.
Yeah. Tune in next day when we do another one of these.
We will. God, I don't... There's still 5 fucking more episodes. There's still 5 episodes.
I don't know if I can keep this up.
We have to, Chris, for the fans.
Oh, of course, the fans. Do it for them. All right, thank you and goodbye.